Hey people, Mike Martins here with the Mike Martins channel. Guys, I want to put an emergency video up there to kind of show other parts of the world or where they're suffering or what's coming down the pipeline and what's going to come down the pipeline in other parts of the West. Ireland is dying, folks, and Ireland is seriously dying right now. And this has been a problem for years. Now, if you go back 5, 6, 7 years ago on trends in the housing market, we've been looking at all the English-speaking countries and what's been happening with foreign investing, primarily from China, coming in, buying up properties. And I don't mind people investing or foreign investing, but when it's actually done by the book, the money is accounted for, it's not money laundered, it's not illegal gang proceeds, it's not laundered money through different channels, it's not through shadow banking, it's not through all this bizarro stuff that's been happening in Western English-speaking countries. The politicians, a majority of the politicians in Canada, own real estate, and they want to see their real estate grow and flourish and stuff and languish. And is it languish? Yeah, all kinds of good stuff, right. So that's what's been happening in English speaking countries across the Commonwealth, and that's what I've been very vocal about: the money laundering, the parking the money on shores, and politicians turning a blind eye. But if you're a local to Ireland and you launder money, they'll put you on the front page newspaper and make an example of you. But if you're a foreign banking entity and you're shadow banking in Ireland, nobody knows anything. And that's the problem. So let's take a look at what's happening in Ireland. Ireland is dying, folks. And this is a major, major deal. So let's take a look at what's happening today. So there it is. Ireland sees record September inflation with grocery prices up 12.4%. They're saying groceries are up 8.3% in America. Some of them are arguably saying they're up 6%, but there it is. They're up 12.4%. Staples, including butter, milk, and bread, were 28% higher than this time last year. 28% higher. You can look across the channel and see what we've been talking about food and where it was going to go. Ireland's inflation rate has hit record high in September, with grocery prices up 12.4%, figures show. As prices continue to rise, 32% of shoppers in Ireland say they're struggling to make ends meet, up from 23% in March of this year, Kantar reported. Take-home grocery sales were up 3.6% in the 12 weeks to October 2022. Staples, including butter, milk, and bread, were 28% higher than this time last year, and average pack price increased 8.6%. I almost said 8.5, 8.6%. There also has been a continued move to private label products, with sales up 7.2% in the last 12-week period, and shoppers spending an additional euro 88.3 million euros. That's 86 million US year on year. Value on label ranges saw the strongest growth, up 23.5%, with shoppers spending an additional euro 11.3 million euros. So it goes down to say right here. So Canadian retail giant Lobby yesterday announced it will be freezing all prices on its private label no-name brand in a bid to soften the blow of food inflation. We call it foodflation. More than 1,500 own label products will be frozen until the end of January. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that in Canada. Obviously, I'm in Canada. So all the Dublin restaurants, cafes, and pubs that have sadly closed in recent weeks. So there it is. In recent weeks, there's all kinds of places going. Two Chaps Deli, I heard of that one. That was a very famous one. The Vegan Sandwich Company, don't know much about them. Circa Tenor, don't know much about them. Monk's Green, Dorian. I think I know this one. Lanehan's Bar and Grill. So there's lots of them that are closing. And we're seeing this after ripple effect where people just don't have disposable income anymore. And I hardly slept after my energy bill arrived. Restaurants face the cost of living crisis. And read that $1,000 bill a few weeks back, that this 1,000 euros or whatever, or 10,000 euros. So 10,000, bill that a lady received. She freaked out. It's like beyond what the people could afford. And they're going to tax us to death. Look up across the channel. This is something we've been preaching for years. They're going to tax us to death, and they're going to fine us to death. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Well, Mike, I rent, so I'm safe. I'm not tied to anything. Well, they're going to pass on their increases to the renters. So don't forget that. And they abolish rental loopholes to basically destroy to the laws that are in place so tenants could raise rents to whatever they want, and we covered that here 5 years ago. So there it is right there, and it goes on to say right here, Paul Kelly, director of Food and Drink Ireland Industry Group, said some food commodity prices have cooled in recent months, but high energy, transport, and input costs such as fertilizers and seed for farmers mean gains have been wiped out. There is no sign of abating. Unfortunately, he said the average cost for 2023 is going to be higher again. So they're already telling you here. They're predicting here. And that indicates that we're going to see a further wave of food inflation at retail level and food services level. And rising prices, just a blip, are here to stay. So they go on to say here that, where to go here? As opposed to this, the price of milk has not been affected by the same upward spiral, but we're getting a different report somewhere else. Milk has traded good as such, so we're getting different conflict reports. And the cost of living, protest, food, shopping, rent, and bills, huge concerns among young and old, the Irish Times. So there it is right there. I had to leave. Sound familiar? If you've been watching our channel, you know what the hell I'm talking about. I had to leave. I couldn't afford to stay here, says teenager who left to work in more affordable Manchester. So there it is right there. So Thomas Dillon, 42, who attended the cost of living protest in Dublin on Saturday with his partner and their baby, said the price of the family's food shopping has almost doubled. This, along with energy bills and petrol prices, is contributing to his feeling that things are getting out of hand, he said, as they walked with the masses along Parnell Square. So I've been fighting for this. I've been actually really very vocal about this. The plumber from Finglas does not like to see energy providers making profit when some workers are struggling. He added, middle-income earners are experiencing a big hit and received little help, he said. So there it is right there. It's not about the help. It's about wages being in line with inflation. And if you look across our channel, we've made hundreds of videos where wages are not keeping up with inflation. Nowhere near. And it's going to cause homelessness and push middle class into, well, let's just look it up. Anyways, so there it is right there. It's becoming a major, major issue. So what did we talk about? Well, we talked about, I don't know if you guys remember that story I made 5 years ago, where Dublin companies in Dublin can't afford to hire college graduates because college graduates can't afford the rentals in Dublin or anywhere near Dublin to allow them to go to work. So employers are having to kind of fork out first and last month's rent or damages and stuff because they just can't afford to live, right? So what have we been talking about? So if you're just joining us on this channel, welcome. So there it is, another cafe owner shocked after getting €9,000 electricity bill. That's about 10,000 American. And here, what have we been talking about? Investors are pushing out locals in Ireland. 9,846 homeless people in Ireland, mass exodus 4 years ago. Ireland, massive housing crisis, food prices, rentals, energy bills, massive brain drain 3 years ago. Foreign investors going to Ireland, pricing out locals, leaving homes empty everywhere 3 years ago. Mass exodus of Ireland's youth, Ireland housing takeover, pushing out talent 4 years ago. So foreign investors forcing Irish middle class into homelessness, Ireland housing depression. So I'm not far-fetching this by saying that Ireland is dying, and Ireland has been dying for a while now. And I've been getting reports of people, calling into Mike in the Night. Guys, if you want to actually watch uncensored, unplugged material, don't forget to check us out on Mike in the Night. I'll show you what it looks like. So there it is right there on Odyssey. If you want to join us on Odyssey, there it is. Mike in the Night, episode 462, 24 weeks out. That's the countdown of winter weeks left till we hit spring of 2023. So there it is right there, Mike in the Night on Odyssey. There's the channel right there if you guys want to join us for unplugged, uncensored discussion with call-ins from all over the Commonwealth. And we had callers in pretty much from all over the Commonwealth. There's Captain Dread there from Jamaica. People calling everywhere. Unfortunately, when we do Mike in the Night, it's 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning in Ireland. We've had people call in from Ireland, though. But it's 3 o'clock in the morning there. So if you want to join the show, be part of the channel, follow us on Odyssey, and you could get the updates on what's going on, what's realistically going around on with boots on the ground. That's something, again, we've been saying for over 10 years now on the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Ireland is dying. Is it? If it's not, am I over exaggerating? Am I just making things up just to create fear? Because this is a great, Ireland's a blueprint for what's happening now in America. Amerifornia is happening, where America is going to turn into California and basically turn into a tent city, unemployment, high taxes, 7 layers of government, private sectors depleted, and forcing more and more people into homelessness. Innocent families that's worked their whole lives to put a roof over their heads and raise their families can't afford to live in their own cities. Anyways, guys, I am talking way too much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Look very forward to hearing from my friends down or up northeast in Ireland. We are 24 weeks out from spring, so we're going to count the winks down on Mike in the Night, and hopefully we can get through this winter and figure out what's going down. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.